first ever visit at Ken's.
So we are going to, no, remember, it's Ame's. It's not Ken's.
It's Ame's.
I'm just a slummer. So.
Yes. Well, thank you both for having me. I appreciate it.
Check 1, 2. Yep. Perfect. All right. Proper thanks. We're not introducing necessarily, but proper thanks is going to be given to Ame for allowing us to do this, because it's probably going to be annoying having these two riffraff in your living room.
Yes. Thanks, Ame.
Being ridiculous, but you know what I'm also going to do? You know what you should do while I'm getting settled? A quick introduction. Me and Vaughn know each other because we worked together for quite a while. And I actually recorded a short video of you and Brian arguing about who the best Spider-Man was in the tire shop that one day. I still have that video.
I think that was my first week on the job.
No, I knew you were new, but...
Yes, I was so new, and then when I was there, I was like, oh, I'm the new guy. How am I going to get comfortable? And then someone brought up Spider-Man. I was like, I know a lot about Spider-Man, and all you guys sound fucking dumb. Tobey Maguire is clearly the best Spider-Man, and Brian can eat my butt.
Yes, I agree. We were on the same page as that, and Brian was getting upset about it.
He was.
Like, he was taking it seriously.
Upset Brian is the funniest Brian. He's funny in general, but when he's upset, it's the best.
I do agree with that. And we love Brian, of course, which means now that we gave him a shout out, I'm going to have to have him on the podcast.
Yes, and he could show off his big muscles. He's huge now.
He has swole a little bit, man.
Yeah. What's up, kitty?
Just don't tip the chair over. All right. So, Vaughn, seriously, thank you for taking time, dude.
Thanks for inviting me.
I definitely appreciate it. And this is Rishi Cat that's in the frame right now. I don't know how these chairs don't tip over, but I guess you don't weigh that much.
What's up, Rishi?
So yeah, me and Vaughn, we met working in the tire shop. You're not there anymore, but obviously I still see you all the time.
Yeah, you guys are great to visit every time.
Yeah, we try. You know, I did. You watched the one I did with Heather, I think.
I did.
So, but Dan said you guys were kind of, just put it on the background. I don't know if you got everything about it. Do you kind of know the origin story of the podcast?
Yes, and I've even told, like, I was leaving my house today, and my dad and my grandma were there, and they're like, where are you going? And I was like, I'm going to go to Ken's. He started this podcast. It's super great.
Nice.
About how you wish you had recorded audio or any kind of form of media of, your mother.
Yeah.
Even your mom wanted that for her
mom, right.
And so I just think that's a great idea. I don't know who I'm leaving this for.
I mean,
for me to do it. I don't have anyone.
You're going to. You're young yet.
We'll see.
My gosh.
I don't know.
You're going to have, and if nothing else, you're going to have extended family and friends, people through work and social situations that you're probably going to meet and inspire.
I hope.
Especially when it's going to happen. You've already inspired me.
Stop.
But yeah, when especially you get into your 40s and 50s, because, I can give everybody that does this, I can just throw it on a thumb drive and you can transfer it to your computer. Even if you just look back on it for yourself, and wherever you're at in 20 years, there's going to be people that you care about that would probably love to hear you. They'd love to see 27-year-old Vaughn.
I don't know, man. We'll see.
That's how I'm going to spin it.
I think it makes me think of when you're you always hear that thing where it's like, what would you give your childhood self advice for?
Yes.
But I sometimes think the inverse, where it's like, would the childhood self be impressed by what you're doing now and who you are as a person?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I'll think about, like, even just physique, because I know you work out. You're a healthy person. But, like, I'll work out, and when I don't and I get, like, chubby. I was the chubby boy growing up.
Me too. Yeah.
You were?
Oh yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think back to, like, when I was a kid, because I always had thoughts like, I remember shaking a Magic 8-Ball and being like, will I be handsome when I grow up?
Oh,
and
my
like
gosh.
a girl, like my sister's friend, walked in while I was doing that, and I was like, oh.
At what age is this happening?
Oh, fucking 8. I was young.
Oh.
I had such like negative views on my body from a very young age.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think it didn't help because my sister would be like, you're fat. I came home one day because we were both latchkey kids. And so I came home one day. Riley would be home first because she was high school. I was middle school. And I was the one.
Your sister is also named Riley?
Yes.
Oh, that's funny. Okay,
yeah, Riley Robinson, Riley Coles.
Okay.
But so Riley and I were both latchkey kids. So But she was high school, I was middle school, so she'd be home earlier than I would be. And I would get home and she'd go, Vaughn, make me something to eat. And I'd be like, I just got home. I'm tired. Like I had a busy day at work. And she'd be like, you're a fat, lazy pig and nobody likes you. So
Okay.
where is that deep already for the first 5
No,
minutes?
but I'm always it's normal sibling
Oh, yeah.
interactions. So I mean,
Dude.
obviously, kids are mean to each other because
Yeah.
they don't know at that age. Your brain's
Mhm.
not fully developed.
No.
So, but I mean, how are you and your sister now?
Oh, we're good.
It's all good,
I mean,
right. Okay,
yeah.
so it was
once,
normal.
once we hit our 20s, we were like, you used to mature out of it. Because when I graduated high school, we both had the same upbringing, obviously. But it's
Okay.
so weird how the same upbringing can have two completely different results. Because
Right, for two different kids.
Exactly. Like, do you have siblings?
Yeah, I have 2 brothers actually. Yeah, both of
Mhm.
them are older.
Both of them are older.
Mhm.
So, the young kid.
Yeah, I'm the baby, and so not to distract from yours, but
Mhm.
yeah, my thing was I was a chubby kid, but my older brother, was like naturally lean, had abs, could always tan well, had great hair, and was confident and social, and I was just insecure and pudgy and pasty white.
Yeah, it didn't change for me until like 14 was when puberty was kicking in,
Okay.
because we fought constantly, and by we fought I mean like she beat the crap out of me for a
How
long
much
time.
how much older was she again?
Only 2 years.
Okay.
Less than 2 years. So but then we had one final like showdown, and it was when I finally like beat her that it never
Were
happened
you
again.
guys alone at home together, or were
A lot. Yeah.
I mean, no, when this showdown happened.
No, my mom was downstairs.
Okay.
But my mom grew up with us in that mode for such a long time.
Yeah.
And that same month, my sister had a fun game where she decided punching me as hard as she could was like, see how fun this is? How hard I can hit you? And I'm like, Riley, stop. Riley, stop. Like in the supermarket. My mom in the supermarket's like, Riley, he's getting older and he will get you back.
Eventually.
And within the same month, I got her back. And we hadn't had a physical altercation since then. But we didn't become buddies until like my high school graduation.
Is she in the Vancouver area?
She's in Vancouver. She's living with my dad currently.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Because your mom's in Redmond, and do you only
Mhm.
have the one sibling?
I have the one full biological sister. I have
Okay.
a half brother in Seattle
Okay.
who's 13, and I have 2 step siblings. The stepsister I don't see a whole ton. Her name's Alicia. She's great, but I just
Mhm.
don't hang out with her. But
Right.
my 17-year-old stepbrother Jordan, I met him when I was 15, and I was just like blown away by him because people skills aren't that innate.
No.
But this 15-year-old kid Jordan, he was like, "Hey, oh, he's still awkward, but he's like, what do you do? What do you do for fun? What do you like? Oh, you work at Dutch Bros? That's so cool."
But he's just earnest and engaging.
Earnest and engaging. And so like from the first interaction, I was like, cool, you're in my life and you're my brother. And so I will go like, I have the opportunity to hang out with like my friends, like Heather or anyone, and I'll hit him up. Like, because I enjoy him so much.
So he's in
Yeah.
the area too.
He's in the area.
Okay.
Yeah. He is at the household with my dad, his mom, and my sister.
Oh, right. Because I met your dad's significant other when we came to see his band.
You met Stacy. You went to, was I
Yeah.
there? Yes.
Yeah,
that's
I was
right.
there. Yeah,
Yes.
I remember that.
Yeah, Stacy.
Yeah, it wasn't
Mhm.
it. It was somebody in. Was it your dad's birthday party, or
Probably.
somebody in the band?
I don't know. They do birthday.
But there
rock
was
and roll
there
shows
was a
all the
bunch of
time.
people from Costco. Yeah, so I
Mhm.
remember. I met probably some of your other family members too.
Yeah.
I don't know if there were aunts or uncles there.
Probably Tita Rhea. Yeah,
Yeah.
Rhea was there. You met
Yeah.
Rhea.
Yes,
Yeah. What was that? Oh, I was calling you Uncle Ken all night. Yeah.
of course.
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course.
Uncle Ken.
Because I'm old.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, you're not old.
So where
Yeah.
so it sounds like you grew up in multiple places.
We were movers.
Where were you born? Let's start
Seattle.
there. Okay.
Seattle, Washington. So no, Seattle, Arkansas. That was a terrible joke. I'm gonna go Seattle, Washington. I was born in Seattle.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Okay.
1995, and we lived in SeaTac.
Mm-hmm.
My parents got divorced when I was 2, and that was because of drugs.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
And the thing that you might have
Mhm.
missed on my past podcast, You don't have to talk them anything you don't want to.
I do
so.
not mind at
Okay,
all. It's
cool.
all right. This is all
just
open
putting
book.
that
I
out
mean,
there.
I'm not going to show them this. Maybe I will. Who knows? But they all know the story.
Okay.
But yeah, so they unfortunately got divorced because of narcotics way
Okay.
back when. We went and lived with our mom and her mother, Grandma June, and Grandma June was essentially parent two.
Okay.
And so that was, we were in Seattle up until I was 9. We moved to Vancouver, Washington, and that was saying goodbye to Grandma June because she moved to Pullman to be with.
You moved down here with your mom.
Yeah, we moved with our mom because my dad's grandma lives here in Vancouver.
Okay.
So Seattle to Vancouver, and we essentially swapped grandmas.
You still had a support system here because of his grandma.
Yes.
Or your
absolutely.
grandma and his mom, I guess it would be.
Yeah, well, my dad's mom, but
Yes.
dad didn't come back into the picture until I was 12.
Okay.
So we spent 10 years without him around until his sobriety came.
Okay.
Yeah, which came like a switch. We were on a family vacation in Pullman visiting Grandma June, where I was like 12, my sister was 14. And on the Greyhound bus back, we get a phone call from our mom, and she's like, "Hey, Papa's here. He's back." And my sister is like, "What do you mean he's back?" She's like, "He's done." Because that's what he said. He's like, "I'm done."
Wow.
Yes, he just sobered up one day, and he's like, "I'm coming back." And that was a weird year.
Yeah.
Because I spent that year, watching my dad, detox on the couch.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And he was like, "Fuck, shit, piss,"
Yes.
thrashing on the couch. And I'm like, "Ooh, good to have you back, Dad."
After 10 years.
Yeah. But I was happy. I was such a, my sister calls it being oblivious, but I think as a kid, I just understood that I'm a kid. I don't have much power.
Yeah.
So I just kind of have to see things for what they are and be like, "Oh, okay." Until I'm old enough to try to affect things.
Right. That's actually very insightful.
Yeah, my sister thought I was oblivious, but I always knew everything that was going on.
Right.
And it's just like, I can't fucking do anything about it.
It
So
was almost like, the old saying, accept the things you have no control of.
I try that very hard. And I think about that currently a lot because, God grant, I'm not very religious. I'm agnostic, but it's like, God grant me the strength to accept the things I cannot change, and etc. And what I realized is when I can't change something that matters, I kind of just back away from it.
Okay.
Which is really hard sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Especially somebody you care about.
Yeah. There's stuff, this I won't talk about, but there is stuff outside or with family currently happening that I'm just kind of like,
you just need to back away.
Yeah, because I can't do anything for you. I've tried, and there's so little movement in the right direction that's happening that I just have to watch this chaos unfold. And it's frustrating, but I just have to be like, you're an adult, and I can't do much for you.
Right.
And it's two parties in the family, and we're just like, figure it out.
So then you're back in Vancouver. Dad shows up, and he must have moved to Vancouver to be around you, or
yeah, he moved back in. He was like dad mode, and I was like, cool.
With your mom?
With my mom.
Okay.
That's the cool thing about my parents. Very cool thing, because I've seen it with divorced couples, is with children, is the ragging on the other parent when the parents aren't there.
Right.
And I tell you what, my mom was a single mom and raised us. She did a killer job, and never once did she ever rag on Papa.
She wouldn't badmouth your dad.
Never. And nor did my dad ever badmouth my mom.
That is rare.
So blessed to have had that.
Yes.
Dude. Oh my God. Yeah, because I do see it happen.
Oh, all the time.
And I'll tell him, being like, I won't say who does it, but I'll be like, I'll get mad. I'll be like, "Do you talk like this in front of that person?"
Yeah.
And they'd be like, "No." And I'm like, "Fucking don't."
You shouldn't do it in front of the kids.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
It's the worst. It's a terrible thing to do.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
So, but your mom, obviously your mom and dad aren't together now.
No,
so
not
how long,
currently.
when he came back, how long did he live with you guys?
2012, I moved to Central Oregon with my mom because she got a job opportunity. So he was, we were living together kind of like a nuclear family from 4 or 5 years. 4 or 5 years. So that was like normalcy for 4 or 5 years as far as like American household standards.
Right, right.
Yeah, there's nothing normal. But
And then she got the job in Redmond, I'm assuming?
she got the job in Redmond, and the plan was he was supposed to move there as well. But he had made his way back from, ground zero
Mm-hmm.
after 10 years into this job opportunity, and he's making great money.
The current job he's
The
in
current
now?
job that he's still at,
Was it?
which
Is it his own business, or did he just get connected with the company?
No, he got connected to the dynamic between my parents is my mom is the go-getting powerhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you will not stop her.
Right.
But she's also got the creative mind where nothing's going to appease her. Like,
Oh.
she will be the best at whatever she does, and she'll be better than the boss, and then the boss at some point is going to be like, stop. Or she'll be like, no, I have ideas, and you're going to have to fire me, or I'm going to have to go to the next thing. So she gets fired a lot.
Has it ever happened where the boss was smart enough to say, wow, I've got somebody with some great ideas. Maybe I should take advantage of that or promote them? Or
That's hilarious. That's how she got the job in Redmond. But she got it like this. She got it like this. She was being aggressive. She was like the lead insurance agent at
Mhm.
her job, American Family Insurance. And she was so proficient at the job, but she also had her brash ideas
Mm-hmm.
that she would present to the boss. And the boss would be like, you think you know better? There's a job opportunity in Podunk, Redmond, Oregon. Why don't you go fucking take it?
And she
she's
was like,
and she's
hell
like,
yeah.
fuck yeah, I will. And so that's how she got the job.
Oh my God, that's
So
awesome.
she got promoted, kind of how you said, but more brash.
That
than
is awesome,
yeah.
though.
So she's very gung ho. I'm very impressed by her because of her willingness to do anything. She's been a private investigator. She's been bartending. She was a golf caddy. She was all these things.
She's a hustler.
A
It's just
hustler
whatever
for
it takes.
sure. But I just recall like constantly, like every summer, my mom just studying on the computer for another job. Aesthetics,
Okay.
facial treatments,
Okay.
everything. Like the amount of effort and work she's put into everything she's done to learn all these skills just to be like,
So it's almost like she has to have a wealth of knowledge about a lot of different
she
professions.
does. She does. She's a savant.
Wow.
She's a savant, but her knowing that she's a savant gets her into trouble.
got right, because she's very confident.
Yeah, she can't be. It's like she's like a fucking a wild horse you're trying to tame, but like
Yeah.
it's not gonna happen.
And she probably, I don't know, I'm just guessing, maybe doesn't have a lot of patience for when she knows she's onto something, or she knows she can do the job very well, and somebody's trying to hold her back. Probably
Mhm.
doesn't have a lot of patience for that.
No. And that dynamic worked well with my dad because my dad is they're both very capable people. They're probably some of the most capable people I know. I mean, it's like idolization or whatever.
Right.
But my dad is a guy that also has that mentality of like, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to do this till I'm so good that I'm the best. Like, he's the lead at anything he's ever done, but he's a comfort guy because he's from the Philippines as well.
Okay.
So, I mean,
Is your mom? I don't.
no, my mom's Caucasian. She's
Okay.
from, born in Alaska,
Okay.
European Alaskan, white,
All right.
white mutt.
Cool.
How's the levels? Check.
I think. Check one. Yeah.
Today
we're
was a
both
good
equal.
day.
Yeah. yeah.
Okay. Equal. Power to the people.
Keep them heads ringing.
Yeah.
Ding dong.
You gotta protect your neck. Okay.
God.
But my dad's very comfortable. So as soon as anything's good, anything's cozy, it's good money. I'm not gonna risk it. I don't want to venture out. My mom's willing to risk it for the biscuit, and my dad's like, I'm stable. He's skilled enough to do anything he wants, but it's like
Right.
I make a good paycheck. They like me at work. I like them, and I'm going to stick to it.
Well, and obviously your father's a musician. Is part of that because he's got this job, or he makes a good living, but he's got a set schedule. It allows him to indulge in his musician stuff, playing for the band. Maybe that's why he's like, I don't want to get
Yeah.
into a job that's gonna. I have to work 60 or 70 hours a week, and I have to give up doing gigs. Is that part of it, or?
Excuse me.
No,
That's a valid.
I'm glad that
that's
was
a
on
really-
mic. I'm so glad that was on mic.
I'm glad too. That's a really valid.
I don't.
That's
Jesus.
No, excuse me. Sorry, burping in your house. No, that's a really valid point because I actually hadn't considered that at all since we moved. Because when we moved to Redmond, that's when he started gigging.
See, so let's talk a little bit. I mean, mom's a rock star, obviously, doing
Mhm.
great, and took care of you, raised you and your sister. What's your dad's origin story with getting into music? Has he always done it?
He has always done it. There's a comedian, Joe Coy,
Mm-hmm.
and he has bits about how like the Philippines always has, oh, you have talent. Because the Filipinos are known for, like, what's your talent, what's your skill.
Okay.
So him being bred in the Philippines, I don't know. Musicianship was a huge talent for him, as well as drawing.
Okay.
So we can both draw. I'm not a musician at all, but I can
Okay.
draw. I inherited drawing from both my parents. So he started in the Philippines. We just got back from that Filipino trip.
Oh,
The
you went with
Philippines.
Daniel.
Yes, me and Daniel
Oh,
went to the Philippines.
okay.
And I met my Tito Willie, Uncle Willie. And I learned some stuff because Willie's 5 years older than my dad. And he essentially was like his kuya, his older brother,
Mhm.
and like helped raise him. And I didn't know that Tito Willie was the one who taught my dad how to play guitar.
Really?
Way back when.
Oh my God. So
Way back
your dad's been doing this for most of his
long
life.
time. Yeah. So my dad moved to the States, and this was during like hair metal.
The 80s.
Yes.
Oh, the heyday. That was when I was in high school. I loved all that stuff.
Yeah. I actually want to ask you music questions as well.
Okay.
But yeah, so he was a guitar player all of his life. I mean, Filipino culture idolizes American music.
Okay.
So when he came here, it was like game on. And he moved to they moved to California and then later found themselves in Camas,
Okay.
Washington. Weird switch.
Yeah. That's a culture shock.
Yeah, very weird switch. And he barely spoke English. And so his first friends he made were like, the white kids who smoked pot and his Indian friend who still he's friends with, Minaj. And they all jammed.
So
Way back then.
he met a bunch of people that were kind of into the same music scene.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, so they were jammers way back then in high school. Like there's footage at Minaj's house, like a what's before a VHS
8
tape.
millimeter.
Yeah, and there's 8mm tape of them at the school talent show jamming out.
That
It
is
looks
so
like
cool.
it looks like in living color. Like they're like
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
It's so it's great. And then he just kept it going. Or when he cleaned up, he got back to his roots here. He actually jammed with his old friends from high school, and he wanted to perform, like actually have a full-on band and do what he's doing now, which
Right.
my dad, killer band, don't know the name of the band.
We're gonna have to research that. I wish I had a producer like Rogan does. I wish I had
Exactly.
a Jamie on
Jamie.
the side. I would have him look it
Yeah.
up right now.
I
but-
may
no,
look that up.
no, stop,
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah, it's all right. She's balls deep in mushrooms. That's a good one. Type that one. Look that one up. Look
Oh
that
my
up.
gosh. So he ended up hooking up with this band here in the Vancouver area. Now this is a side note because the place that I went to see him is that the Highway 99 Saloon?
Yes, they play at 99 Saloon, Billy Blues, a bunch of places.
The only reason I thought about this is a few weeks ago I randomly met. I was working at Costco and I was like literally getting ready to. I was the mid shift, so Justin was closing, but I had. Was starting to take my knee pads off and get ready to change, and I just happened to come out of the locker room door, and this lady was standing at the garage doors, and she needed help. She bought windshield wiper fluid, and she wasn't sure where to which tank to fill it in. So I went out there and nice lady. And I was like, yeah, pop your hood. And I said, yeah, this is it right here. So I started pouring it in, and she just starts chatting, and out of the blue. She just looks. I don't know how. Maybe she saw the calluses on my fingertips, but she was like,
"Oh, really?"
She goes,
Yeah.
"You play guitar?" And I was like, How
Wow.
would you know that?"
Yes.
But
yes,
anyway, long
yes.
story short, she told me about this. Apparently, every Sunday at the Highway 99 Saloon in Hazeldale, they do like an acoustic jam thing where it's just acoustic guitar players that just get together there, and everybody's welcome. She said they're all great people, all different levels. But because I don't have a lot of experience playing with other musicians, I need more of that.
That takes a definite skill for
Yeah.
sure.
And she said, you are more than welcome to come. It's every Sunday at 6 p.m. So
Do you have the ear? Do you have the ear?
Yes. I just need practice time with other musicians as opposed to sitting in my room and doing it.
Well, if you have the ear, and as far as what I've seen, the community and the culture behind that, if you were to go join a jam session, they're right there with you.
Yeah, she said they're all great. I just was curious if your dad, he probably knows some of them. I don't know if he was a part of that when he was first trying to get going.
I don't think it was acoustic jams.
Okay.
I don't necessarily know how we met. He's been in 2 bands that are popular around here, and I'm not sure
actually,
how he got into it.
You're right, because having seen them played, Yeah, they're more rock. I mean, it's gonna
For
be it's gonna
sure.
be electric and rock.
Yeah, we're talking like smoking in the boys' room.
Yes.
It's definitely like dad jams.
Yes.
It's dad jams.
Yes.
I'm not gonna
Yes.
disguise it. Yeah, but they'll try to throw in younger stuff too.
So okay. Anyway, he got settled. Obviously, he's doing the job. And what exactly is his job then again?
He is a very talented artist, and he is currently the lead of sales at a sign company. And he was the lead in graphics at a sign company.
So that's why when I saw him down on the new Vancouver waterfront, he was walking around. It was I think it was a business that it wasn't open yet. I think some business had already taken it over, but they weren't open. I'm assuming he was down there because he was walking around the outside of the building taking photos of everything.
Yeah, he's like the on-site guy. You'll go take pictures, for example, because I see the paperwork when it comes to me because I'm the painter at that company.
Okay.
So I get to see all the layouts of things. I'll get material that I have to prep by sanding it, all this stuff. It's like aluminum, plastics. I'll do vinyl work. I'll do trim cap, and he'll be the guy that's like on site. Here's a photo. Check the dimensions. He's the one talking to clients, being like, "We discussed this size, but according to city permits, it needs to be 1 foot shorter."
Oh, so I was thinking that he is going out on site to almost take a look at the building, see the available space, and start helping with design work.
He'll do that. Yeah.
But he's also I didn't think about that. That you're right. The city has regulations about how big your sign can be.
It's a weird part of the process as far as I like working there. You don't know these things until you work at a place. But now when I'm out on the street, I'll look at signs and observe signs.
Yeah.
It's like a trade thing. Like if you ever drive with your dad who does construction, see that house?
Yes.
I laid the foundation of that house. Now I do that with signs. Like if I go downtown, I'd be like, see that sign? I painted that sign.
But you can also look at it and say, oh, that could have been done better.
Yeah, but I'm so fucking good, dude. It doesn't. I don't have any fucking mistakes. Shut up.
I'm the same way because now after over 5 years in the tire shop, I just find myself noticing everybody's gosh damn tires. It's so
Daniel
tedious.
does the same thing to me. Like we always take his car because it's electric, but if we take mine, he'll be like, "You never rotated your tires, bro."
I know,
dude.
When I first moved in here, one of the first things I looked at Ame's tires, and I'm like, "You gotta replace those tires."
Gosh darn it, man. Look that up, Jamie.
Jesus. All right. And so is your mom still, was it American Family Insurance? Is that where
Yes. No, she, currently she's unemployed.
Okay, but is that why she went to Redmond?
Yeah.
For American Family Insurance?
Yeah, and I'm glad we moved there. We moved, so I was 16, and my mom brought up moving to me and my sister. She does that whole like cool mom laying on the bed thing, like, I need to talk to you guys.
Right.
I'm gonna move to Redmond.
Okay.
For a job, but I won't.
Did she use that voice?
No, it's just,
I know.
It's a Karen.
I'm
My mom's so far from a Karen. She's so fucking. She's a partier. But she's like, I have a job opportunity in Redmond, but I won't go if you guys don't want to. And without hesitation, me and my sister both said yes, because at the time, I had learned this lesson really young from Tita Raquel. Tita Raquel's the aunt that always gives me tidbits of advice every time she's in town. And it's, if you want to live life a certain way, you have to surround yourself with people that want the same thing.
Yeah.
And at the time we were young, me and my friends we smoked weed and did nothing. Like typical 16-year-olds, 14-year-olds, whatever. And I was just like, I could be an athlete. Like, I remember before I moved, I would be like to my buddies and be like, hey, I think I want to do the school play. And they'd be like, gay.
Of course they did.
And so I didn't do anything. Like, I wanted to do sports and I wanted to do like anything academia.
So what ages were you in Redmond?
16 to 18.
So
I'm sorry. 16 to 26 is when I moved back here.
You finished up high school
I finished up high school there.
Redmond
and I
High
thrived.
School?
Redmond High, or Ridgeview High.
Ridgeview, that's the newer one.
Hell yeah. I was the first graduating class there.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
So the school, like, it was awesome, dude. Like, the faculty were great. The school was beautiful. It was brand new.
Yeah.
We were the first students to walk foot in there. And so our graduating class had to have been less than 200.
Funny side note, because I'm a sports fanatic, Marty Lunan, who is a famous Redmond High School basketball player, and he also started at the University of Oregon, and he got a cup of coffee in the NBA, but then he ended up playing like 10 or 11 years in Europe for professional basketball.
Interesting.
He had gone back for the last 2 years. He's been an assistant coach at Redmond High School, and he just got hired at Skyview. Ridgeview.
Really? For basketball?
So his alma mater is Redmond High School, and he's famous. Like, they retired his jersey.
Yes. The athletes that come out of Oregon.
Now he just took the head job at their crosstown rival.
Yep. No, the athletes that come out of Ridgeview are mind blowing because it's you wouldn't think. I didn't know anything about sports because I didn't do them, and then I went there and I did wrestling because I didn't have anything else to do, and so I got my ass kicked for 2 years. Because I went in at 152, and that's a very stacked weight class for high school.
Oh, it's
because everyone,
that's kind of in the middle where a lot of people are trying for it.
So everyone wrestles at 152. A lot of people, and as a junior to do it in a state where kids start at 6 years old.
Yeah.
Oh, I got destroyed. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was such a good time. I mean, what sucked was it ended right when I was getting flow, like when you actually understand wrestling.
Right.
Where it's second nature. Like I was throwing kids, and then lo and behold, it's our last tournament.
Jesus.
Yeah. So
everything clicked right at the end.
I clicked with like less than a month left, and I was like, "Fuck, dude."
I could have been good. I could have been somebody.
Well, it was so interesting because I moved to a town where I'm Filipino. Everyone's 90% white.
Yeah.
70% white, 38% Mexican.
Right.
There's 3 black kids in the town.
Yeah.
And I'm this one Filipino kid. Like my junior year, I show up. Senior year, I show up, and some kid genuinely said to me, "I thought you were foreign exchange." I'm not kidding, dude. Like,
so when you came back for your senior year, he was surprised to see you. He was like, "Isn't that just a 1 year thing?"
I was like, "Dude, I speak perfect English. I don't know what you're talking about."
Because you were born here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently,
So you're born in
apparently
America.
not Redmondy enough. Patanga, that's a dip. Yeah, it was an interesting experience. So I sat with like the Mexican crew because I was like, I don't know where to fucking sit. I don't know.
Was that an issue when you were
Not
in high
at
school?
all.
Okay, good.
Not at all. I
Good.
mean, being the new kid in a town where
No, I meant the cultural thing.
no,
Good.
no,
That's
I fit.
awesome.
I'm so adaptable.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. Now that you say that, I was gonna say you could friggin' fit in at an insurance seminar. It's fun.
Insurance seminar.
You would have a good time at an insurance seminar.
yeah.
You can have a good time anywhere.
Dude, I hate being bored. I'm never bored because if I am in a moment of stillness, the imagination kicks in, and I'm like, oh.
Yes.
I haven't really imagined in a long time though. Imagining is so cool. Like I used to I got stuck on a ski lift when I was a kid with a stranger. We're talking like 6 years old.
You mean like the lift stopped halfway through?
The lift stopped and we were up there for like an hour.
Oh, geez.
And I was next to a stranger.
Okay.
And he was like, and my mom was still off the slopes, so she like snowboarded down, sat, and she's like, "You okay, Vaughn?" And I'm like, "I'm good."
Did you have a cell phone or she just saw you?
No, this is 2000. There's no
Okay.
cell phones yet. And so I'm just sitting next to a stranger, and he's like, "What kind of cereal do you like?" And I'm like, "What the fuck? Frosted Flakes?" And he's like, "Cool." I'm like, "Yeah, they are cool."
That sounds like a snowboarder's conversation on the mountain.
I don't know. The dude was chill.
Yeah, that's what
Like,
I mean.
this is just some random dude, and
Yeah,
I'm just a
he's
kid with
probably,
skis
"Hey,
on.
buddy."
Yeah. Oh, that would have been tight. 5 years old, the first time on a ski lift. But I just remember every time imagination kicked. I love imagination. Wow.
I know, Rishi, you're not getting enough attention. I know.
Yeah, but it's okay, Rishi. But I miss less stimulation now that I have a cell phone and all this form of media.
You're almost inundated with it
I haven't used my imagination in such a long time
because you have so much sensory input that's always coming at you.
I don't have my own thoughts. Do you know what I'm saying?
I know you. Of course you do. I know you're a strong personality, but I totally know what you're saying. You don't have a lot of quiet time with your mind.
No, because when you do have quiet time with your mind, it's the best.
Oh my God! It's amazing. That's why I'll sit out there on the patio and the rain's falling and nobody's walking around. It's nighttime. I just sit there and be.
Yes.
Oh my
But I'm
gosh.
addicted, man. The screen's won. The screen's won.
I don't think you're addicted. I'm sure you could put it down if you had to.
I gotta check my phone, Ken.
No,
when's this
don't.
over, bro?
You are not that bad. You're not Brian. Kidding, Brian. Kidding, Brian.
What, Bumblebee? What's it called? Bumble? Tinder? Which ones you gotta check? There you go.
Oh my God, dude.
Man, oh
So
man.
stayed in Redmond until 21, until you were 21 years old?
No, 26. 26.
Oh.
I moved back to Redmond or Vancouver after.
So did you start at Costco right after you had moved back to Redmond? Or
Yeah.
to Vancouver, I mean?
Yeah, because Daniel worked there.
Oh, I didn't realize you were in Redmond that long, though.
Yeah,
Okay.
16 to 20. Yeah, 10 years, 9 years.
Oh, geez.
I
Okay.
know, right? That's so fucking crazy.
So after you graduate high school, tell me about your life in Redmond.
I
until
joined the fucking army.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That's right. I think Daniel
Well,
told
the
me
National
that.
Guard. I joined the Boy Scouts of America.
Stop it.
Yeah.
I think Daniel told me that, but when you
Yeah.
first came back to work. So that's the 1 week in a month, 2 weeks a year thing? Or but
yes.
you had to go to boot camp.
Theoretically. Yeah, I went to basic training. Yeah, basic
Okay.
basic and AIT. So that's the same. There's several branches, so, I always break it down for people cuz
Most people don't know.
it can be very confusing.
Right.
So there's the military.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tree. It's a tree. I should do it this way. There's the military, and then there's branches: Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard.
Coast Guard. Yeah.
And then from those, it branches into three others. For the Army, it's active duty, which is what everyone's familiar with.
Right.
National Guard, no one knows what the National Guard is. And reserves. They think that they're the same.
They do.
They think it's the
It's
same.
so funny you said that because
Yeah.
yes, they think that. So explain it. I would love to hear this.
Don't quote me on it because I'm not 100% myself. I don't know the reserve as well. I'm not sure how the reserves function.
I guarantee somebody's going to fact check you when they watch this. So
Sure.
just here's my and here is my advice. I give this to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Watch the podcast, enjoy it. And I'm not big enough that it matters right now, but if I ever became big enough and started having a lot of viewers, don't read the comments ever.
Oh, I don't
Do
know.
not, because there's going to be a bunch of people in their mom's basement sitting there just trying to troll you and making stupid comments because they're assholes.
I like a good cry.
Stop it.
I
So
like
anyway,
crying.
don't read the comments, but
No,
go
it's
ahead and explain the reserves, active duty, and
From what I
National
know,
Guard.
it's primarily funding. So National Guard is state funding,
okay.
and reserves is federal funding. So wherever their money comes from, like the state and National Guard. So I do have problems with the National Guard. I think it's old, and I think it could be used a lot better.
Can you enlist directly into any of those three though?
Yes, and I wish I didn't do National Guard.
So like a high school student coming out could say, I want to go into the reserve.
I tell
I wanna
every
go to the National
high school
Guard.
kid that knows me that asks me about the National Guard, I say don't. I say go active duty for a 3-year contract. I tell them 3 years is way fast. You don't even know how fast 3 years can go by.
Right.
The benefits you get from a single 3-year contract in any form of active duty military far surpasses anything you can get from a 6, 8, 20-year career from the National Guard.
Really?
Active duty time accrued is what gets you benefits from the government.
Okay.
So 3 years active duty time, you get a guaranteed GI Bill, which pays for your college.
Yeah.
Granted, you take 12 minimum credits.
Mm-hmm.
You get the national. I have a VA home loan,
Okay.
which the VA home loan's not really that beneficial. All it is you can apply for a house with 0% down payment,
Oh, okay.
which means your monthly is going to be hella
it's going
high.
to be higher, but at
It's
least
gonna
you
be
don't
very
have to
high.
have a bundle of cash to
Exactly,
put
but if you're not making money, they're not going to approve you anyway.
down. Right.
And then you get actual healthcare.
Okay.
So the only thing I would ever, so there's a lot of things I would change about the military as far as the branches go. No one should be able to directly enlist into the National Guard or the Reserve. You would have had to have served at least a 3-year contract in active duty.
But the way it currently is, you can.
You can, and it's pointless.
Okay.
As far as benefits, if you were to do a 6-year contract like I did, I mean, if anyone does watch this, I mean, I'm not sure what your viewership is. I like your videos.
I mean, it's hopefully it'll get bigger because I'm only using YouTube right now. But my daughter's about to show me how to get tied in with this I forgot what they call it, but a service that will send all of your content to all the major podcatchers.
Sick.
So
Let's
it'll
send
be
this to
on
the government. Let's change the military.
It'll be Spotify. It'll be Apple iTunes. You know, all that, or Apple
Cool.
Podcasts. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's finish. Maybe we'll piss some people off.
Oh my
Let's
gosh.
go.
And this is, you asked at the beginning, do I script this? No. This is why I don't script it, because all these amazing topics have come up. if I would have came in with an itinerary, it wouldn't have went this way.
Oh no.
But I want to hear this.
Yes.
This
Okay.
is the best part.
You ready? You ready?
Yes.
Okay. Here's my plan. Also, it's going to save the military a lot of money. You listening, President Joe Biden?
Focus, people. Focus.
No one should be allowed to enlist directly into the National Guard or the Reserves. You will have to have served a 3-year contract at least in the active duty military.
Okay.
Reason being is, in the National Guard, I was a mechanic for 6 years.
Okay.
And I had probably about 100 hours of mechanic time.
That's it?
You don't do shit.
That's 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Out of 6 years.
You drill 1 week in a month and 2 to 3 weeks out of the summer.
Right.
Granted, I did have a weird schedule change where instead of drilling every month, we drilled once every 3 months, and they were 2-week periods.
Oh.
You don't learn your trade.
Yeah, because you don't have the consistency.
No, so they spend a lot of money for somebody to fuck off.
Oh, my God.
You're paid to fuck off.
What's do you know their theory behind why that's a good thing?
I think that
because you do have to actually go through the whole boot camp thing.
Yes, which is it's great, and that's very beneficial. You do come out a better person. It doesn't make you a good person. If you are a good person, you come out a good person.
Okay.
If you're a piece of shit, they'll try to get you out of there. There's a misconception about basic training where it's like turn anyone into a genuine person.
Right.
No, it's a filtration system.
Got it.
I've had a drill sergeant directly tell me that.
That makes sense, actually.
We do not want you here if you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And at the end of the cycle, a few pieces of shit got out, and I swear to God, Drill Sergeant Panett, one of the coolest fucking guys in the world. And Drill Sergeant Felker, shout out. Drill Sergeant King, she's also cool. Bit of a cunt. She's okay. but he went like, I'm disappointed in this cycle. There's a few pieces of shit in here that I wish we could have got out that we didn't get out. I'll be honest with you.
Right.
Yeah. So it's not about turning you into a good person. If you're a good person, you're going to shine. If you're a piece of shit, they're going to do their fucking darndest.
They want to get you out, and then they want to take the
yes.
ones that are good people and make them better.
Yes, which is also counterintuitive because drill sergeants are rated off their pass-fail.
Mm-hmm.
So the more people pass, the better you look as a drill sergeant. But in reality, they don't want you in the military. So it's like, do I fight morality or do I fight my grade? There's a lot of flaws.
That's such a that's the opposite of your motivation. The incentive. It's the incentive is to build the best military you can, but then you also get an incentive for just passing people.
Jesus Christ, man! The only way I'm going to speak for the National Guard because I don't know active or reserves. The only way the National Guard gets money is through retention. Retention meaning they have bodies, numbers. So people who aren't qualified to be a soldier are kept in the military.
You're saying
drug users, people who are obese.
The more bodies they have in the National Guard, they get more funding.
Yeah, to do what they need to do.
That's
They're training.
That's not true about active.
I'm not sure. I'm not gonna. I think active's a little stricter. I mean, in times of crisis, like you'll hear that retention is low. And so there's a high demand. You'll get a sign-up pay bonus to join.
Okay.
Like my sign-in bonus when I joined as a mechanic was $8,000.
Okay.
So I got, and it's taxed. So I got $3,000 at the beginning and $3,000 at the end of my contract.
Okay.
Based on your MOS, you can get like a $20,000 sign-in bonus. But if you're a piece of shit, they would normally get kicked out of the military when they're at high retention. They'll kick you out.
Okay.
You get a DUI, kicked out. But if the military is low in retention and they're not going to get their funding from the government because they don't have enough numbers, they'll keep pieces of garbage in the military.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's annoying, very annoying.
So
you deal with some real losers.
Unfortunately, it can be a numbers game, right?
What do you mean?
It can be a numbers game as far as, look, we have to have a certain number of people enlisted to justify our existence, basically.
Yeah, but how effective are those numbers going to be when they're all numbnuts?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fucking awesome.
So you said 6 years?
I did 6 years with 2 MOSs. I was in 91 Bravo.
Did you end up... Well, because you obviously had to go somewhere for boot camp, but since you were in the National Guard and you were just doing the 1 week in the month, 2 weeks in the summer, you were still based out of Redmond.
My duty station was in Prineville, which was
That's
it's Redmond,
30 minutes away. I mean,
but yeah, so all branches, when you if you're reserve, National Guard, or active, you still go to the same basic training course. Like when I was graduating from basic, my drill sergeant saw my papers and he goes, "You're in the National Guard. That fucking blows. You would have been great active." And I was like, "Sorry." And
I didn't know.
I was so. This is how I signed up to join the National Guard, because it's in Redmond. It's huge because the recruiters, they go to all the sports teams. They went to the wrestlers.
Yep.
And my buddy Colt joined the National Guard. I love Colt, but we went and visited the office just to say hi, and I went with him. And Sergeant Diaz, I had thought about the military for a year, all throughout senior year, and all he said was like, "You want to join?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I signed a piece of paper.
So you put a lot of thought into it.
Well, I thought about it all year,
I
but
know,
when the
but
day
it
came
was impulsive.
All we did was walk into the office. We chatted for like 10 minutes. He's like, "Do you want to sign?" And I was like, "Yeah." That's all it took. Because I don't know. I thought it was going to be great benefits, but you need to join active duty if you're a young kid. Knock it out. Go to the Air Force. Go to the Navy. Do 3 years. Go be stationed in Asia.
Right.
Go to Japan.
Because you get, number one, not only the benefits, and you actually get real, insurance and all that stuff.
I currently don't have any benefits.
But you get to travel. I mean, you get to experience the world.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm 27. I'm thinking about joining back up active just to crank out the 3, get out when I'm 30.
I mean, if
college is free.
If you're even considering, I mean, it would be better to do it younger than older.
Yeah, because I'm gonna live to like 80.
Yeah.
3 years ain't shit, dog.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Where did you go to boot camp?
Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, during winter.
Seriously?
I don't know why this is the case, but most military bases I've ever been to are in extreme climated areas.
You think that's by design?
I think it could be.
I mean,
I think it has.
They want to toughen you up.
Something. I'm not sure. I mean, they've been institutions for so many decades, centuries,
right?
that I don't know if it was predetermined that way.
Yeah.
But I mean, when we first went there, we didn't leave the barracks for the first month because it was blizzards outside. So we did PT by running through the halls.
Oh, so even in boot camp, they wouldn't make you get out there and march in that weather.
It was 0 degrees.
Okay.
Like it got, at the worst, it was negative like 10.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
dude.
so we didn't go outside for the first month. Yeah, first 2 weeks.
And how many weeks is boot camp?
10 or 12.
Okay.
And then my AIT was 12.
AIT, what's
Advanced Individual Training.
Okay.
That's where your actual job is.
Oh, for being a mechanic.
Yeah, if I was a mechanic, so I went to Fort Lee, Virginia, and I learned how to make. So I went from 0 degree weather to 90 to 100 degree weather.
For another, you said
for another 12 weeks.
Oh wow! So you were actually away from Redmond for 24 weeks.
Yeah, half a year.
Half a year.
Half a year.
And then at the end of that, they send you back to your base, Prineville.
Yeah, I slept in my bed when I got home.
And you start doing, from that point on, you start doing your 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year type thing.
Like, yeah. I'm a civilian.
Okay.
So that was cool.
So that allows you to,
smoke pot, yeah.
Yeah, that too. But so on your other off time, you obviously 1 weekend a month. What else are you doing?
I should have utilized. So as far as benefits goes, if you join the National Guard, you have to go to school while you're in the National Guard.
So you went back to Redmond and went to school?
I did not.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying you have to, because I didn't. Like a fucking idiot. So I have my dad's mentality. If I'm good at something, might as well stick here.
Yeah.
So every job I worked 2 jobs throughout my National Guard experience, and it was Sabelli's Pizza. I was there for like 2 years, and Dutch Bros Coffee. I was there for 4.
Dutch Bros in Redmond?
In Redmond and Bend.
Oh, that's funny. Okay.
And I was good at my job up until the end. I was such a shitty manager. I fucking sucked ass. I sucked ass.
But you made it to manager though.
Yeah, but I sucked as a manager. I was the worst. I pissed off so many people.
Oh my God.
It sucked. During COVID, not a smart idea. So I have that mentality of, well, if I'm good, might as well just keep doing it. Everyone's giving me high fives and good jobs. This is where I should be.
Yeah.
And no, I should have been going to school and getting it for free and living at my mom's.
Obviously.
Yeah. Instead, I decided, I'll move out and fucking party, bro. So now I don't have any benefits. Don't join the National Guard. Go active first, then transition. Because you can get your full 20 years in the military.
Oh, right.
You can get your 20 finishing off in the National Guard. That's what it's good for.
Oh.
Yeah. So you're active, but you want to be a civilian.
So is there a minimum? is it still just the 3-year minimum active, and then you can go to National Guard and just finish out the next 17? Boop. You could do that.
It's a sweet lifestyle.
And get your full pension.
Fuck yeah.
Wow.
Yep, but do the active first.
Right, you have to make it work that way.
Yeah, because
if you just do 20 in the National Guard, you don't get the same benefits.
If you were deployed on deployment, that's considered active duty time.
Okay, right.
Yeah, I can. I'm only 27, but it's like if I can do things different. But I don't care. I'll be 80. So
Yeah,
I can still do it right now.
Well, obviously you can. I mean, you're young enough and you in good shape. So are you seriously considering just going back and doing the 3-year active?
Yeah.
But
I don't know why I did.
but
Yeah.
but you the job you're working with your dad at his company now, or the company he's at, you liking it?
No.
Okay, we can edit that out. You appreciate the job, though.
I appreciate the job. It's another
Yes.
one of those circumstances where it's like I'm good at it, but it doesn't mean I have to do it.
So, gosh damn it, Vaughn, why didn't you just stay at Costco in the tire shop? Oh my God,
Dude, I whatever can. I that was the most I can't think of the word prediction. What's the word I'm thinking? Predicate. I was never mind. The word escapes me, but that job at the time was the shortest. This is the shortest period I ever worked a job at Costco. It was only 6 months.
yeah.
Because I get good and I stay. That's how I've been for like a long time, and I really liked Costco and I didn't want to leave.
Well, I'm almost wondering if the Costco thing, 'cause this is rough. It's retail. The hours can be rough because you have to work weekends. You have to work late at night. You know,
Okay.
I mean, not that late, but and this is what I always tell everybody: if you can afford to go through the steps, you can end up making an amazing living and a career and a retirement at Costco. But you got to put the time in.
Yeah,
It's all about time.
that
Before
I
you
don't
start,
mind.
you don't start making money until you've been there for 5 years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I shouldn't just leave it at no. The job the job I'm at currently is a great job. It's a very good skill-based job.
Mhm.
It's a very wage-negotiable job.
Okay.
Like if I were to talk to my boss, I'm over a year, and I've proven that I have. I sound very pretentious.
You never.
Shut up, Ken. But I developed some skill. How do I sound?
You sound amazing.
Hey, it's Barry White. But
Dr. Love.
I got skill levels past somebody who's been painting for 5 years.
Okay.
Like I've been told that by the bosses. I've been told that by everyone I've worked with there. They're like, dude, in 1 year you've already gone past.
And were you
surpassed
when you took
expectations.
this position?
Mhm.
Were you like the first? You had no experience in it, so you
No
were
experience.
learning on the fly.
Yeah, but I have that. It's
You had the
I don't know if
artistic
it's-
thing
I don't
going.
have I don't know if it's genetic or not, but it comes from everyone in my family can do that.
Okay,
Where it's like, or if we're gonna learn a new skill, we're gonna get it quick.
but you picked it up fast.
I picked it up fast, and I've been told by many different sources, like, you're better than the guy who was here 15
Nice.
years. You're better than the girl that was here for 2 years. And I don't want to sound conceited,
So is that?
but that's just what I've been told.
Is there a future in this? You probably shouldn't be saying this on camera.
I don't mind.
Is there a future in this career that you're currently in, or are you thinking, I just know I don't want to do this for 20 years?
I wouldn't want to do it for 20 years because I realize it's the way I'm coded. I was talking to Heather about this, prototypes. So the way my prototype is coded, I have to talk to somebody. If I'm spending 8 hours of my day just throwing headphones in
Oh, right.
and not doing it, it's so bad for my mental health.
Yeah.
And it's been such a rough year of
You
that.
need human interaction.
I do need it. Some people, it's fine.
Right.
This is a great job for somebody who just likes putting in hard work and
right.
making a good amount per hour. But even if I were getting paid 25, 30 hours, I couldn't do this for 10 years.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. It's not good for my prototype.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, Heather asked me, we were just chilling. We always have good combos. She was like,
She is incredibly intelligent, insightful, thoughtful. Again, she was one of my favorite podcasts.
oh, absolutely.
Amazing.
We watched it. Me and Dana
Yeah.
watched it.
She was just. I was shocked. I was like, oh my gosh, you're like super mature and smart and insightful. It's like,
How'd you not know that? Oh,
because
you guessed- yeah.
I've only hung out with her at work, and it's just
Valid.
it's conversations in passing. You know, we're like, hey, what's going on today? You know, it's Sunday again. Yeah, we get double pay at least. I'm like,
No,
I'd
she
never
is
had
so
a deep
smart.
conversation with her. She's such a
She'll
sweetheart.
set you up for such a good topic, and
Yeah.
she has such good opinions herself. So one time she asked me like, "Do you think people are born evil?" And I said, "No. I think people are born a prototype, and if they don't live what their prototype is, that can be perceived as evil." Like my buddy Chase Wolford, his prototype is a fighter.
Okay.
And being a fighter is not a bad thing. It just means that you're born to be combative
Right. Right.
for, honor, justice, or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if he doesn't have that outlet, he's self-destructive.
Right. Right.
And destructive outward as well. He's outwardly destructive.
Right. It'll just manifest itself in unhealthy ways.
Yes, and he's a very good guy, but
Yes.
some could perceive certain actions as evil.
Absolutely.
I don't. I love Chase. But if you don't know Chase and you don't know his heart, you'd be like, you're fucked up.
Yeah.
But now he's a boxer, and he has an outlet.
There
he
you
is
go.
a fighter who is now living up to his prototype, and
Yeah.
he is before fighting, he's one of the most glorious. He's just a beautiful human being. If you are blessed to be in his good graces, and he doesn't treat people poorly at all, but he is such a defender of your honor.
No.
One of those.
And
people.
there are so many people. I've never heard the term prototype, but that I know what you're
Mhm.
saying. That makes total sense. Everybody has an innate nature. They have a nature about them,
Mhm.
and everybody's is different. There are some people that are just born savages. Not that's the wrong word.
Yeah.
Fighter is a better word.
Chase is super dumb.
Okay.
Fuck you, Chase
No,
Wolford.
that's
He'll
not-
laugh about
but-
this. Yeah,
But there are
okay.
people that like he's probably the kind of guy that if he had been born, 1,000 years ago, he would have been leading an army and conquering stuff, stuff like that.
Exactamundo.
It's not a bad thing
Not at
because for most of human evolution, that trait was valuable.
all. Every prototype's necessary, but you have
Yes.
to live a life according to it.
And you also have to be able to not feed it, but you have to be able to express that prototype or it'll cause problems. So like
Exactly.
you're saying, he found boxing. That gives him an outlet
Mhm.
for it.
Of course. And
Yeah.
we were trying to determine them, and we really made a mock list. I think we came up with 5. It was like the fighter, the artist, the provider, the caregiver. We were trying to think of what people could be. Like I think Daniel of as a caregiver.
Oh,
And
yeah.
if somebody's not able to receive it, that's when he'll be like, "Woof."
So what's that prototype?
I don't know, but I think of Daniel's prototype as caregiver,
Yeah,
especially
definitely.
with his mom and stuff. But
Yes.
we'll wait for him to come on to this.
Yeah,
to
but
talk
I
about
mean,
it.
not only that, but that's just his nature with every relationship.
I
he
think
has.
so. Yeah, he is such a caregiver.
Even the
prototype.
relationships he has at work. I mean, he's a great guy, but he's also very thoughtful.
Absolutely. I mean,
Um,
on the inverse as well. Like if he's not taken care of, he'll be like, no. Daniel's so self-sufficient, being the youngest child of all those circumstances.
And everything that he went through.
yeah, maybe
Again,
we'll
we're gonna have
we'll wait till
have
Daniel
Daniel
gets on here.
Yes,
We'll wait till
let him
Daniel
talk
gets
about it. So we love you, Daniel. Oh my gosh.
Wait, how do I say it again?
Ame.
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 Sorry.
A-H hyphen M-A-Y. Ame.
Say it again.
A-H hyphen M-A-Y. So, in the month of May.
That's cool. oh, that's good.
I
like that.
just thought of that on the spot.
Yeah, no, I like that a lot. That's good. Dude, hot tub. Are you going in the hot tub right now? Are you going hot tubbing? Oh,
Yes. Yeah, she's been gone for like 4 days, so she's probably
dude, I
missing
missed
that.
that.
The hot tub is very nice.
Music. Go ahead, hot tub.
Oh, because you thought you were going to get some last night. And okay, you're jonesing for it. All right. And now Vaughn's going to go potty, so that's fine. Yeah, but nobody can hear you though. So, and the lights are low. This is not this is not an HD camera, so no big deal. And I mean, let me put the headphones on, but I'm pretty sure they can't hear you talking. So just say something to me. No, it's not coming through. You got to be really close to the mics. Right. So then I can caption whatever I want to tell people what you were saying to us. Like, get the fuck out of here. I'm sick of your bullshit. And your gosh damn, my cat is going to shit on your bed next time. By the whole what?
I'm really impressed by your old fashioned.
Oh, thank you, man.
That was so good and very sizable too.
It is very simple, man. It's literally just, get a good bourbon. There's people that are very, what do you want to call it, meticulous about it, or very like it has to follow this recipe. So I've always been told that an old fashioned is supposed to be made with rye whiskey. But you know what? You find the bourbon that you like, and if you like it in old fashioned, that's fine. But it's very simple. It's 2 ounces of bourbon, simple syrup, and just a splash. I mean, don't do too much. And then just a couple drops of bitters, stir it up in a shaker with ice just to chill it, and then strain it over a big rocks, in a rocks glass with a big ice cube. And you can express the orange rind if you want to give it more flavor. Oh, and then rim the glass with the orange rind.
Yeah, those bitters are extreme though.
Yeah, but that's because you put it.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Lock
But that's
her out.
because you
lock the door.
stop it. But that's because you put it right on your tongue.
Yeah,
you're not supposed to do bitter straight.
Yeah, that was not smart. So I'm curious about your music thing because
You said you had a question about music.
Yeah,
I'm ever since you told me that in the back of my mind, I'm like, what could he
well, I
possibly
mean,
want to ask
if
me
you don't
about
mind me
music?
asking, are you're a very vital man.
I'm a what?
Vital. You've got an aura of vitality.
I do?
Yeah, you've got a young
Oh.
aura about yourself.
Thank you.
If you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I actually just turned 51 a week
What?
ago.
Oh my God.
You knew that.
No, I did not.
We talked about it when you worked in the shop.
Dude, I'm blown away every time I hear it then apparently. So your era of music, I'm really curious how you got into club music.
It started with karaoke. I was early 30s, moved back to my hometown, and I'd always thought I could sing and wanted to sing. So I started going out to do karaoke nights. And I was the guy that would, spend all this time in his car at my house when nobody else was there, just cranking the music up and singing along.
Hell yeah.
And then I discovered this thing called karaoke, so I kept going out all the time, and I got to know the people that ran the karaoke, and I was there all the time. And, at some point they were like, well, do you want to just, work for us? So I started just doing that. Just show up. They taught me how to set the music up and all that.
How old were you then?
Early 30s, like 30,
Early 30s?
32, 31.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Okay, wow, yeah.
I've had a lot of jobs in my life. And then through that, got more into it and got connected with another guy that lives in Sherwood, but he had karaoke accounts across the entire Portland area. So I ended up working for him for a while, and he was the first guy that showed me about audio equipment. Like, he would use the same setup with a powered mixer like that, and then 2 big speakers. So I learned how to carry the equipment in and how to set it up, and started learning how to run sound and how to EQ it right and all that crap.
Yeah, so
and
then
through him,
go ahead.
Through him, I also started learning about a little bit about DJ music, because his theory was the first place that I started doing karaoke at, it was just karaoke, just sing, 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 sing. He was the guy that was like, look, we're going to let you sing, but if there's 80 people in the bar and I have 3 singers, I'm not just going to cycle through them. I'm going to play DJ music in between. He wasn't scratching. He just would have a playlist. But he's like, I'm going to play regular music for the rest of the people that don't want to sing. So I first started learning about being a DJ from him, got connected with another guy, and then at some point ended up finally buying, actual DJ decks. I got hooked up. My mentor for that is oh so fresh. His name is James Wright.
Sick.
James Wright. He's based out of, he lives in Vancouver, but he works for Z100 in Portland. He's an actual vinyl scratch DJ, and I ended up getting connected with him. I forgot how, but I would take my decks over to his house, and I would do gigs with him, and he would do gigs with me. So he started teaching me how to be an actual proper club DJ and how to mix beats, and transition and all that.
So what was your before being introduced to any of that? Were you a Tool guy? Because were you Seattle grunge? Were you hair metal?
So favorite bands, love the 80s hair bands.
Poison.
So I did like them. I wouldn't say they're my favorite band, but I like their music. My favorite band in the 80s was Def Leppard, and it's still one of my favorite bands ever. Because I don't put Def Leppard in with the hair band scene. They were just a rock band. They get kind of lumped into that whole hair band scene from the 80s. They were just a rock band.
Do you consider Journey hair metal? No,
No,
not at all.
absolutely
No,
not.
not at
And
all.
just like Guns N' Roses came in at the end of the 80s, and some people try to lump them in with hair bands, and I'm like, no, they're just a rock band.
Beautiful sounds. Yeah,
Yeah, it's great
beautiful
stuff.
sounds. Now, so then, my first band. I was born in '95, so what was popular was Britney Spears. And
I love Britney Spears.
No,
so,
I'm okay with them now that I'm older.
oh god.
But when I was a kid, listening to that music, I was like, yeah, sure. The first band I ever heard where I was like, oh, this is why people like music was Queen.
But how old were you?
5.
That's amazing.
I heard. Well, we had a Queen's best of CD,
Yeah.
and my mom put it on, and I was like, oh.
That's funny because I was thinking 80s high school era, but if you want to go back to the 70s, yeah, I was listening to the Eagles and Queen.
Yeah. So what was your first experience where you were like, this is music? It
would have been.
You have to be very young.
Part of it is Queen. Of course, We Will Rock You. Another One Bites the Dust was big. Little River Band was big, because I'm old enough that when I was a kid, we had cars that had 8 tracks in them. You know what an 8 track was?
What?
Oh my god.
No. yeah.
You do know.
Yes.
Okay. So we would have an 8 track of, and my mom loved Neil Diamond and Barry Manilow. We loved the Eagles, Little River Band, the Doobie Brothers, stuff like that. That was classic. And I was listening to that music. Then at the early 80s, my brother started getting me into some Led Zeppelin, AC/DC, and he's the one that introduced me to Def Leppard, and then I just ran with it.
Yeah, because that was, I mean, for lack of a better term, was Def Leppard the band that got your dick hard?
Yes.
Yes.
And they still do.
Yes.
So my favorite artist to this day, Def Leppard and Kenny Chesney, which obviously I came to Kenny Chesney as an adult, like in my mid-30s, and now I'm like a fanatic about him. You might not remember this because you were only in the tire shop for 6 months, but it's like a thing. Like Matt, the manager, will always like, all right,
Matt.
I bet this isn't as good as Kenny Chesney. I'm like, of course it's not, Matt. We need more Kenny Chesney in our life. So.
That's so awesome. Oh, God.
Kenny Chesney and Tom Brady. That's what Matt makes fun of me about because I'm a super fan of both of them.
That's so good. I love Matt so much.
He's awesome.
He's so endearing. It's
So
good.
yeah, Def Leppard was the first one that got my junk hard, and then as an adult, I really fell into Kenny Chesney. So
Awesome. I don't know Kenny Chesney.
I'm still there with both of them.
Is that country?
Yeah, it's country. Yes, but it's not pop country. But it's also not necessarily what you would call like old school Merle Haggard country.
It took me a very long time. Now that you say pop country, it took me a very long time to accept, like mumble rap, pop music as like a form of music.
That is so funny. Were you weren't? Do you know who Victor is that works in the tire shop now?
Of course.
But you didn't work there with him, right?
I did.
Oh, did you? Because
I got hired
me and
on, like, a
Victor
week
have
after
this
him.
running joke. He'll put on his phone and start playing that friggin' Fetty Wap. And I'm just like, yo, where's my bitches? Mumble rap. I'm like,
I love that song.
hate that
I
shit.
love that song.
Mumble rap was coming into popularity right when I retired from being a club DJ.
Yeah.
And not that that's why I retired, but I remember, and I was working at a club in Gresham, and people would come in and just ask for all this fucking shit, and I was like,
Yeah.
God, I'd have to play it for
The era
him.
of Usher had died. And
It had. Thank you.
And
And
yeah.
So I love 90s hip hop because the beats are the best, but I also love the early 2000s.
Because it was still R&B.
Yes.
It still had some smooth and some swagger. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But like even the early 2000s with Usher and Nelly and friggin' God, that was some of the best friggin' beats, dude.
Yeah.
But it had a lot of R&B influence.
Well, I think what younger generations are learning to appreciate about rap in that form or fashion is you'll hear the old MCs, new MCs, current MCs, the actual rap lyrics. You're not listening to the lyrics. It's trumpeting. Like a rapper's vocalization is, they're playing a trumpet. Like Christian Hand. Have you heard of that guy?
No, I haven't.
That's something to YouTube. He breaks down tracks because he gets the stems. He'll find stems from old artists. He does this thing called MJ Wednesdays.
Okay.
Because he was slid, like no one's allowed to have this material, and he had been given by a fan broken down songs of Michael Jackson that is just like, here's the bass line, here's the drum line, here's
wow.
exclusively the vocals. So he'll do that with like rap from like different decades.
Okay.
Everything. It's just great. But so to bring it back to what we're saying is, I only like within the past 3 years started appreciating the mumble rap and like the shitty music,
Right.
because I had to tell myself they're having fun making it. If I shut down some of the barriers that I have and I'm just listening,
Yeah.
it's a tune.
Yeah.
And I don't have to listen to what they're saying, so long as no,
I like the beats.
yeah,
the
but
beats were
also the
great.
words don't necessarily need to matter if they're
Right.
lyrically attuned to what's happening.
Yeah.
I don't know. It took me a second. I was that edgy kid in high school that had headphones on. My sophomore
right.
year of high school was just The Cure, No Doubt, The Smiths.
That's good stuff.
But no one in high school listened to it, and so I was like, I'd be called like fag, like because I
Yeah.
listened to
Yeah.
the cool music that I liked,
Yeah.
while people listened to Lil Yachty.
I
don't know
one,
who
but-
that is.
So it's funny you mentioned the whole mumble rap Fetty Wap thing, but around that same time there was a contrast because at the same time I was having to play Fetty Wap, I could also play stuff that I liked that was newer from like Jeremiah, like Don't Tell Him. I could play Sean Kingston, Beat It. Oh my God, there was a bunch of those that had more R&B beats, but they were a great dance groove.
Yeah.
And they weren't like angry and mumbling.
When I was a kid and I saw or I pictured going out as a 21-year-old, I was like, oh, people are gonna like dance,
Right.
Like, because in the music videos with like Black Eyed Peas,
Oh, right.
you would see people like using moves, and then high school and middle school came around, and we were just like butts are just on dicks.
Right.
Like,
Right.
Is this what dancing is
Yeah,
now?
yeah.
I was so
Wait, wasn't
confused
there
by
a
that.
chaperone there that said 6 inches apart?
Room for Jesus. But I don't know. It was just shitty. But what was cool was, because no guy knew how to dance when I was 21 and I went out, I did know how to
You
dance.
knew how to dance.
Because I practiced in
And-
my bedroom listening to dance music.
Dude, that actually gave
Bro.
you a big leg up.
I got some ladies when I was single.
Because you actually knew how to move.
I knew how to dance, and girls
Right.
liked it.
Well, yeah,
Because it wasn't just me getting grinded on by some
And
chick.
that's what most of the guys do in the club. They just kind of stand there and.
Yeah, they don't know how to dance, but I knew how to dance. And like, I remember one time I walked out of a club because I was the youngest in my group of friends that were going out to clubs things.
Mhm.
I was the 21-year-old, everyone's 26.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, come on, Vaughn, let's go. And I'd be like, just a minute, I'm trying to get some pussy, guys. Like, and they'd be like, we gotta go. I'd be like, sorry, bitches. And so I would leave, and I had a girl come out and like be like, where you going? I'm like, my friends are taking me
chase you
home."
into the parking lot.
Yeah, she like ran out after me, and I was like, sorry, bitch. Yeah.
I'm sure you didn't say that.
No, I'm not a womanizer whatsoever, but I do like to dance.
Oh my God, that's hilarious, dude.
So
So
that
you-
came out of talking from music. I said
yeah,
all
yeah,
that? That's
yeah.
silly.
That's
music.
we went down that rabbit hole.
Okay.
So you, I think you said you got the artistic side of drawing from your dad and stuff, but
Mhm.
you
And my
don't.
mom.
But you don't play. Your mom, I'm sorry, but you don't
Mhm.
play any instruments.
No, I played the bass guitar when I was a kid, but it wasn't a discipline I stayed with. It's all discipline, and I didn't have that. I was very disciplined in the arts, cartooning. I can draw
Okay.
a mean figure.
Oh, right on.
If you wanted me to draw you any superhero right now, boom, I'll do it in 5 minutes.
That's awesome.
God, I sound so cocky and arrogant. I'm gonna
No,
blame
you're
it on
just
the
stating
old-fashioned.
facts.
But it's only because my mom's very artistic. She had her previous jobs. My parents met in art school.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they
Okay.
met in art school. And the way that my dad was married at the time, but my dad and my mom were dancing at a party, and it was like a movie scene.
And was this up in SeaTac?
This was in Seattle
Okay.
during school or after school, but they were dancing at a party, And literally, like, the needle dropped, the music cut, and my dad says to my mom, "Marry me!" and my dad was already married.
Okay.
And my mom said, "If you want to see me, you have to
Right.
get a
Obviously.
divorce."
Yeah. Yeah.
And so he did.
Oh wow.
And they start. Yeah, my parents are still in love today. They both love each other very much today. But it's just like, is this how the world works? Where it's like, I guess you're not together, but you both love each other very much.
Unfortunately, I mean, sometimes, yeah.
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 They both have partners. I love my mom's partner, Mark. He's like another dad.
Yeah.
And then my dad's
Stacy.
wife, Stacy. I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
her too.
Yeah.
But it's so weird to see two people love each other very much. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the question? Drawing? Skills, something like that?
Yeah, but just obviously you can draw like crazy, but you never you
So-
did play bass for a little bit, but it didn't
Yes.
stick.
Well, with the drawing, so I knew how to draw because my mom got me like how to draw books when I was a kid. My mom, I wanted to say this. My mom's early jobs,
Mm-hmm.
she was a designer at EMP, Experience Music Project, which is
Okay.
a famous museum in Seattle, which
Okay.
is now the Pop Culture Museum.
Oh
She
yeah,
was
yeah, I've heard of that.
She was also an exhibit designer at Seattle Science Center.
Wow.
Yeah, my mom's a fucking badass. And then she worked at QFC. And,
Yeah. Well, she's very well rounded.
yeah, she went from designing exhibits to serving up macaroni
Hey,
salad.
there's life lessons to be learned there.
Dude,
You know what I
so
mean?
many lessons.
She obviously has a very broad range of experiences.
Yeah, very much so. But I mean, I don't know, she's a skilled woman. So I learned how to draw from how to draw books and my mom's mentorship. But my mom being my mom, she's like, "Oh, honey, that's good." But then when my dad came back into my life, that's when I first had my first that's when I had my first master, like a sensei.
Oh, okay.
Like my mom had never gone, "Oh, that's good. Why is his neck like that?"
Oh.
My dad, I would show my dad pictures, and he goes, "Why is his neck like that? His crotch is too small. There's no space for his dick." That's actually something I remember. Like I would draw
oh my
legs.
gosh.
The way I would draw legs was it was too tight for anything to be down there, and he said, "There's no room for his crotch. Like the shadow is off.
That's
the
actually-
lighting's off." I would show him a picture, no compliments whatsoever. No compliments. It was always your shadows don't match, the proportions off. That hand looks funny.
So he was helping you get to the next level.
That's how I got way better.
Wow.
And that was 12.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but that's the first time I had a
All
master.
right, now, at this point, are you talking about? Are you using pencil, paint,
all pencil and ink.
crayon? I mean,
I'm a pencil and ink guy.
pencil and ink. Okay.
Pencil and ink. That's it.
Wow.
I should diversify and go to school. I remember from Heather's podcast, you guys talked about it.
Yeah,
but
because I didn't know that about
no,
her.
she's very. She's
I had no idea.
Versed. She's very well versed. Her cartooning, her style,
yeah.
it's phenomenal.
That
Like
that,
I'm really impressed by her work.
that blew me away. So,
And I don't think she knows how impressed I am by her work.
well, she's going to now because I'm going
I
to
hope
send
so.
a direct link to her as soon as we're done.
So, but no, that was if you ever want to become better at something, you need someone to tell you what you're fucking up with
Yeah.
no hesitation.
yes.
And that's what I try to do for Jordan. And I tell him like I'm straight up with him, and he's fine with it. But you need a master if you want to really be good at something.
Yeah. It's funny again. It's not about me.
No,
but,
please,
But
please.
the reason I got into guitar, freshman year of college, moved down. I went to Western Oregon University. It used to be called Western Oregon State College, but it's in Monmouth, outside of Salem. Randomly assigned a roommate in the freshman dorms, and my roommate was from Lake Ridge High School in Lake Oswego. His name's Jason Moore. He even at the time was a guitar prodigy. Like he'd been playing guitars since he was like 10 or 11 or
Yep.
something. So by the time I met him, he could play any famous electric guitar like you want.
Hell yeah.
Eddie Van Halen's Eruption, he could do that.
And that's what they say. They say if you pick up a skill before 12,
Yeah.
it's going to stick with you for life.
So he is already just raring to go. So I spent 9 months with him in the dorm, and he taught me guitar, electric guitar, for 9 months. Then he goes his way. I end up, have my daughter, get married. I go my way, and we always kind of stayed in touch periodically, but I just let that go. I had 9 months of guitar lessons, let it go for so many years. And then about 12 or 13 years ago, for one of my birthdays, my mom bought me an acoustic guitar, and I was like, that's
How
awesome.
Old? How old were you?
Oh, I was in my late 30s or maybe 40.
Whoa.
But she bought me an acoustic guitar. And I just was like, oh, that's awesome. But I just put it in the closet and didn't do anything with it. And then randomly, when I was working in the tire shop about 4 years ago now, I just got the bug. I said, you know what? I remember enough basic chords from Jason teaching me electric guitar. I can translate it to acoustic. And by then, I was much more into the country music. Not even just country music, just more acoustic type, like John Mayer, stuff like that.
Are you talking about strumming or plucking, or what are you trying to
both
diversify your skills?
Both, but I just like something about the emotion and the songs I could play on an acoustic appealed to me more than just getting into an electric and trying to do a solo.
John Mayer.
Yeah,
motherfucking goat.
He's awesome.
Yes.
So I love that kind of music because I guess at that age I was just more interested in the emotion of the song than like being able to shred.
Well, you hear that with Bono.
Yeah.
Bono said in interviews, he's like, if I am going to sing because with his age and certain notes that are in songs, they'll be like, how do you hit those notes? He's like, I can't do it. What is he, Australian?
He's British.
He's British?
Yeah.
I gave him a very poor British accent. But he's like, I can't do it unless I don't feel the emotion of the song.
Right.
And so.
Yeah. So I just finally dusted it off and started and found YouTube videos. I was like, I don't care about music theory. Here's a song I want to learn. Show me the chords, and I'll learn how to play it. And that's what it was. But yeah, going back, the reason I brought that up is you were saying you have to have somebody there that will tell you, this is what you should do.
Yes.
That this is wrong, and you need to correct. And that's my guy, Jason Moore,
it's cut and dry with no emotions.
Yeah, and I've gone back recently in the last couple of years and actually taken. He lives in Tigard, in Oregon, but I've taken a couple lessons from him, and he's just like the same guy. He's like, so you need to do this, and here's this, and
yeah, you just got to take it. I mean, sometimes my dad was pretty harsh with it. Like, where's his fucking dick, man? Again, it was crotch. Because for the longest time, I couldn't draw hips right. And I would go to my room, fuck that guy. And then I would draw gradually. The space would get bigger and bigger. And so, but yeah, you need a master if you want to learn a skill.
You need a sensei, yes. Yeah. It's very important.
You need it so bad. It's anything you want to do. I'm not... Corporate-wise, I don't think so, but I'm trying to think of skills. The arts, music.
Yeah.
You need a master. You need a sensei.
Apparently, you're working on your stand-up set. Are you gonna go to some open mic nights or what? They do it at Helium.
Nights? Well, if you do just laughspdx.com.org, you can see where all the open mics are. But I started doing that last summer. I started going to open mics.
Yeah.
I went to. It was Heather and I's like legitimate first date.
And you took
No. She took me out.
To an
I
open
was
mic?
new to Vancouver again. I was new to Vancouver. I didn't know anywhere to go.
Right.
So she took me to downtown Vancouver, and she went to like a cool bar called Underbar on a Monday.
Oh, I know where that's at.
Yeah, Underbar's awesome.
They did it a comedy open mic?
They do open mics every
or
Monday.
Just an open mic for anything?
Open mic for comedy. They do it every Monday night.
I've actually, because I like them on Facebook, so I know where you're talking about.
Dude, go. It's so much fun. There's a lot. The people that go up, we have some heavy hitters in Portland and Vancouver.
Yeah, I know.
Am I one of them? No.
Of course you are. Did you?
No.
So that first night, did you get up?
Hell no. No,
but
I watched.
But it was cool.
Me and Heather went on several dates, and we would go to there, and I would watch them perform and stuff. And I've loved comedy, stand-up comedy, ever since I was Millennium Park Apartments, like 9.
Yeah.
Like some of the earliest comedians I saw, Joe Coy for sure.
Yep.
Stephen Lynch is a guitar playing musician. Nick Swartzen. So I've just loved comedy ever since way back. Because Comedy Central Presents was a huge show when I was 9 to 17.
Yeah, and so I can relate to you on that because I have been a comedy fan since the 80s. Like back when I had cable and HBO.
Howie Mandel.
Oh my God. So there was, HBO would do these young comedian specials. So I saw people like Seinfeld before he got famous. Sam Kinison, Andrew Dice Clay. Before anybody knew them, I saw their original sets. Bob Nelson was a big one. Oh my God, there's so many. But I've always loved stand-up comedy.
Yeah. Dude, I want a sensei in that. That'd be sick as fuck. But no, so we would watch, and then I would talk about it with Heather, and she'd be like, "Just go." And I went up and did it, and I've been doing it since last summer.
That's awesome, dude.
It's
So,
been a lot of fun.
Again, this is another thing I don't know because so I'm one of my because I'm obviously a big podcast listener, but one of the ones I listen to religiously is Joe Rogan, and obviously he's a comedian.
Of course.
But I have listened to him through because he has a lot of comedians on as guests, and they talk about the craft so much, which I love listening to. And he
First of all, when they talk about the craft, I love how they're like, nobody wants to hear this. Of course, we want to hear this.
well, we do. Maybe
Yes.
not everybody, but but it's funny because he talks about the journey from the first time you did an open mic until you actually are a comedian, and his mantra is, it takes 10 years. It takes 10 years before you maybe it actually. Now, obviously, some people do it faster, but he's like, it's a lot of fucking work, dude, but it's amazing if you do it. And you have to. Sometimes the best lessons you learn are when you fucking die. When you fucking suck.
Yeah, I suck.
but that makes it better. That's how you learn.
So the first time I went up was not at Underbar, because Underbar is actually like a good performing open mic. People bring quality
Are you
stuff.
going to other places in Vancouver, or do you go down
There's
to Portland?
two places in Vancouver that I go to, and they're both on Monday. It's,
Okay.
You start off at Donnell's.
I know where
And
Donnell's is.
yes, I love Donnell's. It's a really fucking fire bar. I love Donnell's.
Yeah, keep talking. I'll be
Let's
right
go,
back.
Gay Pride. Let's go, baby. Yeah. So I started off at Donnell's, and Donnell's is not like the other mics because there's not a lot of comedians that show up to that one. So you get, instead of 3 or 4 minutes, you get like 7 to 10 minutes to do a set.
But is Donnell's exclusively for comedians, or is it just open mic?
No. There's just an open mic there on Monday. There's open mics everywhere. But it's just different nights of the week.
But the one at Donnell's,
Monday
it could be somebody comes up with a guitar and wants to sing something, or it could be spoken word.
It's comedy.
It is. They're all comedy based.
Yeah, Laughs PDX will show you all the comedy open mics.
Okay.
Comedy open mics.
Okay.
There are open mics for musicians downtown Vancouver for sure.
Right.
And I want to bug my friend Liam to go do them,
But these are the two that you're going to, Donnell's
in downtown
and
Vancouver. But then I'll go to Portland other nights.
You've done it in Portland.
Yeah, I'll do like 5 nights a week when I'm on it.
Really?
Yeah, and then in each night I'll probably do 2 to 3.
Then okay, I want story time. And at some point we have to wrap this up. We've gone way over.
Oh,
what
how
what
much
I
are we
told-
at?
Let me look.
What time do you normally do these for?
Anywhere from an hour to 2.
Oh, Jeebus. What are we at now?
We're at an hour and a half.
Okay, yeah. Well,
We're fine.
whenever you want to call it, I'm down.
No, we're within there. I just don't want to. I may have
For
to
the
work
viewers.
tomorrow.
Are you off tomorrow?
No, I have to work at 10:30.
Oh, okay.
So
that's
not
terrible.
early.
Yeah,
But-
it's not terrible.
So I really want to get into this because again, I appreciate the craft of comedy. What was it like? Was Underbar the first time you did it?
Donnell's was the first time I did it.
What was it like?
I had rehearsed a set in my room.
I was gonna say, how do you rehearse in front of the mirror?
I don't know. You just learn it by yourself.
But I mean,
it's so solo.
But in front of the mirror, you stand in front of the mirror reciting
we
your
have
material.
a karaoke set at home,
Right.
so I had a microphone and I was literally in my room with my notes, reciting what I was going to say on stage.
But you didn't look in a mirror to pretend like you had an audience, or
I looked at my room like it was an audience,
okay.
and I rehearsed that, and it's all quick because I was so scared to do it that I just had to sign up. So I sent a message beforehand because you can sign up online beforehand. So
Okay.
I signed up online beforehand, and then I had 3 hours to rehearse in my room because I knew I had signed up and I can't pussy out.
You didn't rehearse until you actually made the commitment to do it,
Yes.
though. Oh, okay.
So I rehearsed, and then I went up. And the first time I went up, I made it through a whole set on a 7-minute.
Bring it just a little closer to
sorry.
your mouth.
Testes. 1, 2, 3.
Testicular.
Testicular cancer.
Yes.
Please check yourself, men.
Yes.
So it was at Donnell's because
I've been there.
Donnell's will have 10 comedians in an hour, where most open mics will have 40 in 2 hours. Like 30 to 40 people will go up.
What did they
a
literally
night.
give you like 2 minutes?
2 to 4 minutes.
And then the red light goes on. And
Yes. So when I went to Donnell's, I had 7 minutes, and I went up and I managed to fill it.
I was going to say, how much material had you rehearsed? How
I had
long
rehearsed.
was that?
I had rehearsed, and I did 5. I remember it because I did my whole set, and I just said, how much time do I have left? And then and I love Sam. Sam's the host at Donnell's, and he's like, you got a minute? And I was like, cool. And then I finished my set because I started off with like, it's my first time. Oh, I suck.
Of course.
And then it was such a good feeling. He came up and he's like, was that really your first time? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, you did good.
Nice.
And then, so that was the most high I had ever been from stand-up comedy. High. I was high.
It is. It's like a drug.
Yes. I was fucking high. It felt like I had done cocaine.
Yes.
And I was driving home. I called my buddy James. I said, you'll never guess what I just fucking did.
Yeah.
I'm driving home and I'm like, woo, in my car.
Yes.
Like I was high. And now it's just chasing that. And very rarely do I hit that same level. But it's just trying to get that again because it was really good.
Oh, it'll happen.
I mean, was my set good? Not necessarily. But just having it been my first time and people being like, not bad, kid, was
That's awesome.
I was flying.
Because I guarantee, and I've heard, I've listened to all kinds of comedians, not just Rogan. I've heard a lot of comedians talk about it. Most comedians do not have a good experience their first time. So that's actually awesome.
Well, I had time to work. I don't think a lot of comedians, when they start, have a 7-minute mic.
Right.
Every time I do a 3, I'm trying to get better, so I have to actually record and listen to what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I did it, and I was like, God, I fucking suck. Like, listening to yourself back, I realized, like, oh, I told 3 jokes in 3 minutes. That's shit. And I realized, like, stop fluffing up what you're doing. Like, I go up, I'm like, hey, shout out to the bartenders. Shout out to Vaughn. Shout out to this. And I'm like, go up, skip all that, tell a joke.
Yeah.
It's really, and I'm only 8 months. I know a lot of comedians that have been doing this for
you're
like
nowhere near. You're working towards finding your voice and finding your personality.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's going to take, but it's a path.
It's a path. It's a lot.
But you're doing the work. If you're doing it that much, where you said when you're hitting hard, you're doing 4 or 5 nights a week. I mean, that's how you do it.
Yeah, but there's definitely weeks where I'm like, fuck that. I'm gay. This sucks.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
That's the learning curve.
Yeah.
That every comedian, that no matter how successful they are, they went through that. That's how you learn, man.
I made some good homies out of it, though. Hunter Austin, he puts on a good mic. Adrian Valencia and
I don't know if I don't know if you've heard this expression, but I've heard Rogan use it. He said, bombing as a comedian. Bombing like a comedian, or as a comedian in front of an audience, is like sucking 1,000 dicks in front of your mother. That's what bombing feels like.
I've done that. It's not like that.
No, you haven't done that. But that's what bombing feels like. Yeah. But if you can get through it, it makes you better.
I have one good, I've definitely bombed so many times. But my favorite bomb was I had started a bit about age, about my grandma.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, my grandma's old. She's 80. And I showed her how to shotgun a beer. And then a lady in the front went, 80's not old. And I went,
yeah, it is.
And I went, you're right. What was I talking about? And so I stood up.
That's actually kind of funny.
That was 20 seconds into it, and I had 4 minutes left to go. So up there for 4 minutes, I was like, yeah, I don't know what the next part of the joke was. And I went to the audience, and I was like, can you tell me what the next joke is? And I just stood up there for a long time. And I just stood there talking, and I was like,
that's actually a really good way to handle it, I think.
I was told by other comedians, they're like, you are the most confident bomber I've ever seen. And I was like, it still sucks. Like, I just stood up there being like, I don't know what I'm talking about. How's everyone doing? Like, the only joke I managed to figure out was I had remembered something I thought about, which was kids nowadays are like, oh, I showed my grandma how to shotgun a beer, and she didn't know what it was. And I was like, I didn't want to tell her that kids nowadays are soaking tampons in vodka and shoving it up their butts. because there's no way she would believe that, and I couldn't remember that.
That's a great line.
I managed to remember that. Then I told the audience about the vodka tampon thing, and then I just flubbed for like 2 minutes. And at the end, the couple that said, "That's not old," she was older, and I said, "How long have you guys been married?" And before she could say anything, I was like, "Long enough to try the tampon thing," and that's all I had. That's
but
it.
that was improv.
That was
awesome.
improv, but that's all I had.
That worked though.
Yeah, but
I know.
it was a bomb. It was a bomb.
I know.
I'm a
Of course
strong
it
bomber.
was,
I'm a strong bomber, but it's like it's very fake confidence. I
Yeah.
don't know how to control a room yet. I will forget what I'm talking about.
Right.
Dude, I'm not good. It's
Well, of
so
course,
fun.
you're 8 months in.
Yeah,
but,
it's so fun.
but you're doing it. That's all that matters, dude. You're doing it.
I don't know, man.
And this is funny because I've heard him talk about this too. There's something unique about the art of comedy, of being a stand-up comedian. For some reason, that art is different than if you go see your favorite band play, or if you go watch a movie that you love, or you go see an opera, or you go see a play. Everybody initially or immediately gets the fact that, wow, this takes talent. I couldn't just do this. But for some reason, there's something about stand-up comedy where a lot of people in the audience are looking up at somebody, especially if they're having an off night, and they're like, well, he's just up there talking. I could do that. I could be that not funny. That's a lot of people in the audience think that. They don't understand the true dynamic of what it takes to get up there and hold a crowd, or even just be up there and talk in front of strangers. So there's something about that one form of art. You see a great painting. Most people know they couldn't do that. But something about the way that the whole stand-up comedy thing is, a lot of people just look at it and say, well, I could do that.
It seems natural.
It seems easy.
It seems
they
easy.
think it's easy, but it's not. It is so not easy.
Not easy at all.
And and again, a lot of people are like, well, he's not that funny. I could go up there and be not funny. I mean,
that's when you go to an open mic, it is inspiring enough to want to do it because you think that.
Right.
And that's what I did.
Yeah. So it's
And guess what?
approachable.
I
It's an
suck
approachable
ass.
career.
Yeah. But the thing is, are you willing to suck for a very long time?
Are you willing to humiliate yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I've looked so bad. It was
Yeah.
great. It's been awesome. And occasionally I'll have nights where I'm like, did I just do that? Sick, dude. That was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Was it recorded? No. Fuck. Oh, man. I've had one set in the 8 months that I've done it where I'm like, if that were recorded, I would have loved
Why
to
don't you
watch it. I'll do audio recording.
I was
now.
going to say, yeah.
Yeah, audio recording's the way to do it.
Absolutely, because you have to be able to go back and listen to your set and kind of fine tune it.
Yeah, I'm trying to be, because the best I've done as far as actually getting consistent laughs is a full written routine where I'm not necessarily myself. But I'm telling joke after joke after joke.
Okay.
Like I've actually written jokes. Writing jokes is hard. First of all.
Yeah.
Writing jokes that are your jokes
Yes.
is fucking
It is
difficult.
way fucking hard.
So hard. And then there's times where I go up where it's like I have a premise. I have 2 tags that I know I'll fit in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest, let's just figure it out on stage. And the recordings of that are rough. But when the 2 tags come out and you're like, oh, that worked. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll keep those. You got to figure out the rest.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. It's definitely hard. You got to record yourself and put the work
And
in.
you have to suffer through listening back to it.
Oh man. Every time, because when you do it, you have a couple beers. I don't drink and drive.
No, of course not.
No. But I've recorded it after the high is going on.
Right.
Because he's like, oh, I just got off. I'm a little buzzed. And you hear it and you're like, yeah, I fucking crushed it. And then you get off the high.
Like the next day, listen
And
to
you
it.
listen to it, you're like, I'm a fucking idiot. Like, I didn't tell a joke for a minute 30. It's bad.
Oh my God. Yes. I can kind of relate to that because my whole guitar thing, I've made the mistake of getting really inspired and having a few beers, and then I'll be dumb enough to set up my tablet or my phone and record myself playing and singing. And in the moment, I'm like, oh God, it sounded great. And then like the next day, I go back and listen to it. I'm like, you were hitting so many, you were missing strings. You were.
It's all right. Are you writing your own songs?
No.
Okay.
Not at all. No, I might get there someday. But I have a lot of songs that.
Who are you learning? What are you learning? What songs have you learned?
Oh gosh, I have a list on my phone. I do want to get to the point where I can go to not the open mic night, but I can go just do an
Brick House,
acoustic.
bro.
Yeah, I mean, but
You
I
know
want
that
to
one,
get to
right?
the point where I can just set up with my guitar and do an acoustic set and play cover songs.
Yeah.
So my list that I actually can play and sing is, and it's like random. Where are we at?
Here, you look at that. I got a piss real
Yes, yes, please. Ability. Apparently, Rishi's going to get on. Rishi is literally trying to get on mic right now. Look at that friggin' cat. Oh my God, I'm so glad that's on camera. Rishi. Yeah, Vaughn will be back in a minute. Where'd he go? No, don't come bother me. I don't like you anymore. You are ridiculous. Rishi. Meow. Meow. And sorry, listeners, Vaughn had to go pee, and I'm not going to edit this out. So we're just going to have some dead air for a minute. At least you got to watch the cat. It got on camera literally as soon as you left. Rishi got up on the couch and started like getting right on the mic. And I got on
sweet.
camera. Like Rishi wanted to talk.
Dude.
So my set list would be the ones that I can actually play and sing. Hurricane from Luke Combs. Some of these you aren't going to know if you don't listen to country music.
Blue Combs? No.
Luke Combs.
Oh, Luke
Yeah.
Combs. Yeah, I don't know. Luke
So
Combs.
Hurricane. Record Year from Eric Church. Let Her Cry from Hootie and the Blowfish.
I don't want to marry her.
Yeah, you know that one.
That's the only
that's
one
of
I
my, that
know.
was the first. That was literally the first song that I tried to learn how to sing and play at the same time because the chords
That is so. You have to have the brain for that.
the chords are so easy
Are they?
that I already knew the chords.
Mhm.
It was more about learning how to sing while you're playing.
Dude, singing and
Yeah.
playing,
Oh.
you have to have that switch in your brain. Oh my God.
It over 3 years, and I'm still not perfect at
The
it.
amount of times I go to my dad's house, my dad's apartment, and
Yeah.
I see him, like I'll walk into his apartment and he's got his headphones because he lives with, his wife,
Yeah.
his stepson and my sister, and he's just got his headphones on and he's playing on the bass guitar or the
Yeah.
electric guitar. And I'm just like, the dude practices nonstop.
You have to. It's a repetition.
Yes, he
man.
is his own disciplinarian when it comes
Yep.
to that skill.
Oasis Wonderwall from the
Yeah,
90s,
yeah,
so
of
I can
course,
do
of
that
course,
one.
yeah.
I can do Drink a Beer from Luke Combs. Luke Bryan. I can do Learn to Fly from the Foo Fighters. Learn to Fly Foo Fighters. I love
let's
Foo
go.
Fighters. Who Knew by Pink.
All right.
Lullaby by Nickelback. Most
Okay.
hated band on the planet.
Dude, Nickelback is
amazing.
I love Nickelback.
Freaking
Are you
love
serious?
them.
What is it now? Fucking Wings of an Eagle. I'm
Yes,
not
Hero.
gonna
That was
stand
actually a
away.
solo by Chad, but
I love that song.
I'll hold on to the wings of the eagle.
I'll rewatch Spider-Man
Watch
1.
as we all fly away.
When that song comes on the credits with Spider-Man 1 with Tobey
Yes,
Maguire.
That's right, man.
Dude, best Spider-Man out there.
Yes, Brian. Tobey Maguire is the best
Eat my
Spider-Man.
butt, Brian.
I can do Irrelevant from Pink. That's one of her new
You like
songs.
Pink, huh?
Pink
Yeah.
is fucking amazing.
She's a rock star. Her wire work's intense. Have you ever seen the clip of her getting tugged by her thing
Yes,
off
that was
stage?
messed up, dude. But Pink is one of the most naturally talented people
What a
I've ever
badass!
seen.
When she did that at the either MTV Awards or the Grammys, I was blown away.
oh,
she did
yes,
her
and
whole wire
dropped her in the
performance.
pool. Yes, absolutely.
Impressive as hell.
Sam Hunt, Leave the Night On. Kenny Chesney, Floribama. I can do Thomas Rhett, Die a Happy Man. Florida Georgia Line, May We All. And Avril Lavigne, So
Yes.
Much for My Happy Ending.
Dude, I will listen because my sisters. We saw Avril Lavigne in concert last summer.
Dude, I'm jealous.
Well, I'm sorry. We saw MGK in summer last year. Machine Gun Kelly.
oh, right.
And his featured artists were Willow, Will Smith's daughter.
right.
And I love her. And we were drinking and had dinner. And I was so excited to see Willow. And we missed her because we were out drinking and having dinner. So we
but
missed
not
that,
Avril Lavigne.
But we saw Avril Lavigne. Avril Lavigne was on that set. She was.
Where was this at?
What's the Portland basketball team?
Oh, the Rose Garden Moda Center.
Yes, yeah, at the Moda Center. We saw it at the Moda Center.
Right on.
Yeah, MGK puts on a great show. But we saw Avril Lavigne. Is it Home? Home? I don't know, but it gets me emotional because it's my. There's a couple songs there's a couple songs in each for each family member.
Are you talking about the "I'm With You" song from Avril
I'm
Lavigne?
with you.
Yes, that's a great song.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for the reminder.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll get emotional with that.
Yeah.
So my dad's song. So we talk about funeral songs in my family.
Mm-hmm.
My dad's song's very easy. Frank Sinatra. I Did It My Way.
I like it.
Frank Sinatra is very popular with Filipinos.
He's
I Did It My
awesome.
Way is the death song for Filipinos.
Okay.
My mom's is Mrs. Robinson
Oh,
because she's Mrs. Robinson.
that's who does that? I forgot. I'm blanking.
Hall & Oates. And I'm sorry. Fuck me,
No,
dude.
it's not
Jesus
Hall &
Christ.
Oates.
Simon and Garfunkel.
Thank you.
Yeah, so because she's Mrs. Robinson. That's my
Okay.
dad's last name. So that's her song. My sister's song is the Beatles. She's Leaving Home.
Okay.
You know that? Remember that one?
I'd have to. If I heard it, I recognize it.
He's leaving us. It's
yeah.
I'll play it for you after this. It's
Yeah.
It's really a beautiful song. But that's so Avril Lavigne's music is for my sister, and the Beatles. She's Leaving Home, and then for me, I'm not that sure. But I know my family's songs. I know my family's songs well. My family would have to tell me what my songs are. Hello.
I'm sure they'd have
I got
several
a serious
opinions
question
on it.
for you. At your funeral,
Oh my God!
what song's gonna play?
Oh man, I have no idea. That's a really good question.
You
Yeah.
just walked into it because we were talking about that. Sorry.
Yes. Think about it and come on back.
I will.
Okay.
Absolutely will. Thank you for asking.
No
Yes.
pressure. No
Ken,
pressure
how about
with
for
an
yourself?
answer.
Free food.
You're serious?
Yeah.
Oh.
If it shows what's on here,
Okay.
it was left out there. No, it's yeah.
Really?
no one
Oh
wants
my
it.
God! Wow.
This happened twice now. People just like from what do you call that? With the food delivery service.
Oh, right. Like
DoorDash.
Instacart or
Yeah.
DoorDash,
Just like leave it right there.
because somebody ordered it and.
Know what apartment? Yeah.
Oh,
so
come
we-
on.
Jeez.
It took like an hour, and so I saw it. No one had grabbed it, so I'm like, if anyone wants it, it's.
All right.
Wow. Do you know
Alright.
where it's from? You know where it's from? Did you say?
It would say on the
Okay,
receipt,
sweet
but
deal. All right. What's your funeral song, Ken?
oh, that's something I haven't, because I already know the song that I'm gonna my first dance with my daughter when she gets married. I know that
Yes.
one. Kenny Chesney, There Goes My Life.
Uh-huh.
My funeral song. Oh, that's
Oh.
a good one, dude.
While you think about it, I'll tell you, my dad's friend Tom,
Mm-hmm.
who was one of the friends he made in America first.
Okay.
He passed away.
Okay.
And his song is Eric Clapton, Would You Know My Name? If you saw me in
Oh
heaven.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's a great song.
Makes me cry. When he passed, it was pretty sad. One of my parents' friends have passed a lot, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
it's heartbreaking every time.
Oh wow. It just occurred to me. It might be. It might be Iron and Wine. Call It Dreaming. That was. I don't want to end on a sad note. My mom, like, literally, I think 2 or 3 months before she passed, I saw her on my birthday, and she had found this random artist and song she liked, and she was like, and she knew I was playing guitar, so she goes, I think your voice would work with this song and you should learn it. And then when everything happened with her and she got sick, I did. My my guitar teacher, Jason, I just texted him. I said, hey dude, can you do a quick instructional video and just send it to me? I'm going down to see my mom in the hospital. I just want to learn this real quick and be able to play it for her. And he instantly, like within a half an hour, he did a video, and he goes, so here's the chords, this is how you play it, and he sent it to me. And so I was actually able, not very well, but I was able to learn it good enough to play for her in the hospital room. So that would probably be it.
That's beautiful, man.
I'll play it for you after, or I'll just
Yeah.
send you. I don't want to listen to it with you because I'll start bawling. So I'll just send you the link.
100% fine.
Yeah, I'll just
That is
send you a link.
100%
But
fine.
that would be it. So if anybody wants to listen to it, it's a beautiful song. The artist, I don't know if they're married, but it's a male and a female. The guy plays guitar, and I feel like the girl either does keyboards, something like that. But
Say it one more time. What's the name of the
it's
song?
Iron and Wine,
Mhm.
and the name of the song is Call It Dreaming. So
Mm.
yeah, I'll send you the link to it.
Okay.
It's
That's
really
beautiful, man.
and because they obviously have a video for it, but I found a few like live in studio acoustic sets they did that were even better. Yeah,
Mm.
obviously. So okay, we should wrap it up.
Yeah, well, this has been
Ame's back from the hot tub and she brought us food. So,
Ayo. All right.
so
Well,
seriously, Vaughn,
dude,
I do appreciate you taking the time.
thank you so much.
And
I don't even know what we talked about.
dude, we talked about a bunch of amazing stuff, and again, this is why I don't like to script it, because we can go down whatever direction we take, and I learned a lot about you, man. And you're a freaking good guy.
You're a good guy.
No, you're a really good guy.
I hope I'm a good guy. I've
So-
definitely made a lot of
So
mistakes.
this will make you laugh, and you'll appreciate it because you're a comedian.
Sure.
I totally I totally wanted to do this with you, but since we kind of decided we'll do it today, in the last 18 hours, I was almost like I'm remembering the scenes of you like at Pacific House playing with the kids and just going fucking crazy, and I was like, oh God, is he gonna be at 10 the entire night, or can we get down to 5 sometime?
How did we do? What was
You
I
were
at?
perfect, dude.
Oh, thanks,
You're
man.
amazing. I knew you were an articulate, thoughtful, sensitive guy. But most of the time I'm hung out with you, it's
Yeah.
just it's Vaughn at 100%.
Yeah. That's what charges my batteries, and that's why I need socializing. But I
Yeah.
appreciate this so much,
No,
man.
it
I had
was-
such a great time.
This was really cool, and
Yeah.
I'm glad you did it, man.
Yeah. Maybe
Yeah.
my kids will see this in the future. My son's name, my firstborn son's
You
name,
already know?
I already know. Roland.
That's a great name.
Yeah. It's an anagram for my dad's name, Ronald.
Oh my gosh.
So I also
Okay.
just think it's a dope name. And if I could have control of it, the middle name would be Royce. Roland Royce Robinson. Tell me that's not cool.
Triple R.
So Triple R, this is to you, motherfucker. Don't be a
Roland,
disappointment.
Roland, in a few years, well, it'll be more than a few, but when you're old enough to be able to watch this, because there was adult content,
Yeah.
so you have to be at least 18.
Yeah, whatever. I watched South Park when I was 5. He'll be fine.
And he turned out fine.
Watch me have all girls.
That would be justice. That would be your
Oh,
punishment.
God. I treat them well. I like women, and I respect them so much.
Why does that sound like a politician
Yeah.
apologizing?
I'll never have. Okay, I think we're done. But I had a great
or
time.
an evangelist.
Yes. Thank you so much,
Thank
Ken.
you, buddy. Let me just
All right.
hit stop.
Yes. Have a good night, everybody.